I'm going to talk about 5 simple but effective renovations you can focus on that'll really maximize the value of your property, make it more appealing, and it'll bring the most people into your house. Because if you work on these areas specifically, not only is it going to look good on the listing, but when people come in, honestly, most people, they'll get sold on these items alone. So with the market turning, we're seeing a lot of people, especially homeowners, that are either over leveraged or investors that need to sell their properties. They're listing their properties, and a lot of times when you're approaching an agent or someone that's going to help you sell the property, you're told that you need to do renovations or extensive renovations to sell the property. Or sometimes it's just a misconception people have, so they won't even go to the next step. Now, the reality with this is like, it's not completely true, because you can focus on very key effective areas and you'll get the same result. So I'm going to talk about 5 simple but effective renovations you can focus on that'll really maximize the value of your property, make it more appealing, and it'll bring the most people into your house. Because if you work on these areas specifically, not only is it going to look good on the listing, but when people come in, honestly, most people, they'll get sold on these items alone. So first and foremost, it's the most important area where I'm at right now, which is the kitchen area. So the kitchen is pretty much the most valuable part of a home, even from an appraisal perspective, or even working with clients. I've noticed like a lot of times that's where everyone will focus on first and foremost, because it's the most expensive and it's where often people spend the most amount of time. So when you're looking at a kitchen, a lot of times you're going to approach a contractor, they're going to tell you, hey, you could spend $20,000 here, you know, you could put an island, put special tile, put special like countertops. And the reality is you really just need to do certain cosmetic things outside of the general paint and that stuff that's, you know, you're going to do probably around the whole house. With the kitchen, you can literally just buy countertops, right? So they can range from $50 to $100 a square foot. And just changing the countertop, as long as you have decent cabinets, will make a huge difference. Same thing with backsplash, right? Like you could buy stuff for like as little as $2 a square foot, even cheaper. And throwing a backsplash countertop, if you're all in for like $4 or $5 grand, it'll probably change the whole look of your kitchen. You could do cabinets as well. Like it depends, because what I find is a lot of the times the cabinets that have been in properties for the last like 5 to 10 years, they're usually decent. So unless like you have cabinets from like the 60s or 70s, you don't always need to change them. You can a lot of times just reface them and repaint them, and it does the job. So those renovations can all be done probably under $7 grand. But a lot of times people will go to a general contractor or like a specific kitchen person, and they're going to tell you to get these custom cabinets, you know, get special tile, special countertops, and they're going to mark up the price on you. And the other issue too is honestly, a lot of times people that are buying these properties, and I can tell you this from experience, they don't actually know the difference between custom cabinetry and IKEA unless they're very specific, or you're selling a luxury home, which is a completely different type of product, obviously. But if you're selling like a traditional home or an investment property, if it's a duplex, just like, you know, a small detached house, or even anything, I would say up to like $1 million, you don't really have to worry about this stuff. And in the GTA as well, like there's stuff that goes up to like 1.2, 1.3, and that's the average price. So any of those types of properties, you can do this simple thing, and it won't really kill the appeal if you focus on these items in the kitchen. Now, the second most important thing I would say is probably the bathroom, which it's probably where a lot of people spend the least amount of time, but it just has another kind of appeal to it based on how nice it looks, because people want to see themselves there being comfortable, and they don't want something that's dirty especially, or very outdated. And this one, the issue is a lot of times bathrooms do need a full makeover, because for example, if you're in like Hamilton, a lot of times properties are built in the 60s and 70s, so they often don't really change much of the bathroom, or they'll just change like the vanity. But you could literally get away with the same thing, doing the tile, doing the vanity, and obviously like the toilet. in regards to the shower area, you can actually reface it, reglaze it, and it'll cost you like half the price or less of like putting a new shower. So you can save a lot of money by doing something like that. Now, simple changes like doing tile work, because although tile work is trickier, like it's skilled labor, it's a very small area. So you're not actually like doing a very big job. Like it can be done in a day if you hire the right person to do it. So you can do the tiles, you can do vanities. Vanities can be like, you can get them as little as like $350 to $500 for something that's very modern and nice. And reglazing, I've seen, you know, jobs as little as like $1,000, right, or less. So you can do everything under 5K in a bathroom to make it really appealing. So focusing on that item, like especially if you have more than one bathroom, it'll make a huge difference, because a lot of times when people are walking through properties, they'll go to the bedroom and then the next stop they'll go to the bathroom, and they'll see that, okay, like, do I see myself living here? Do I feel comfortable? And obviously the place has to look clean. So if you're going to renovate it, just make sure everything's tidied up, you know, redo the caulking, maybe repaint, but just those simple changes will make a huge difference. The third one, which is really common and most people do it anyways, but a lot of times people make these simple mistakes, it's flooring. So flooring you can get nowadays for really cheap, stuff that looks really good. So whether it's engineered hardwood, you know, even some laminate or vinyl plank, a lot of the stuff nowadays that's durable and pretty affordable, it doesn't have to be hardwood where you're spending like $5 a square foot. You can get for like $2 or $3, and there's a lot of deals. There's so many places where you can get liquidation deals. But just redoing the flooring in a whole house, it'll change the whole look, right? And this can even apply to the bathroom. Like you don't have to tile it. You can do the flooring there, do the flooring in the kitchen. Obviously, if you do tile in the kitchen and bathroom, it will make it a lot more appealing, and you can do it in a cost-effective way. But even if you get vinyl plank or laminate engineered hardwood, it'll do the job, but it makes a huge difference. The only thing I will say is a lot of times people will do this stuff, but the issue is they're cutting corners, so they won't properly align the flooring. It'll be like a handyman, or they'll do a DIY, which is a big mistake, because you're going to spend so much money on the material, you're going to do the job, and then there's going to be little corners that look messed up. There's going to be missing areas that are not aligned. So you want to make sure that stuff is covered, because people do notice that. The fourth thing I would say to go along with the flooring is painting. So paint and flooring, those two things together can change everything if you don't do anything else. But painting everything, getting it done properly is a big deal. Like I've been to properties where people did like 1,000, 1,500 square foot area, and then they just missed little areas, or you could see that they didn't cover one wall enough. So just make sure it's done properly, and you can do it yourself. That part, obviously, there's videos on YouTube. It's the easiest thing you can do. You know, people do it just as a hobby, but if you do that properly, it'll make a huge difference along with the flooring. And it's pretty easy to do. You know, you can just get some help from people. You don't need to pay labor prices. You know, you can get the job done for half the price if you do it yourself. The fifth thing, and this is one that a lot of people aren't aware of, and it makes a huge difference, and you can save thousands of dollars doing this, is just fixtures. So fixtures meaning like faucets, light fixtures, door handles. So nowadays you can actually get this stuff on Amazon. Sometimes there's sales even at like big box stores. And honestly, like what you're paying a contractor or a specific store that sells like lights, or if you're getting it from a specific source, a lot of times you're overpaying. You can get really nice light fixtures nowadays. You don't have to do pot lights. You can get modern light fixtures for under $100 a piece. You can get door handles, cabinet handles in packs from Amazon for like under $100 for the whole house. And similarly, if you're doing like faucets, same thing. You can get stuff on Amazon and other stores online for half the price that you're going to pay at a big box store. And if you do all these simple changes, like if you're doing flooring, painting, let's say alone, and you change all the light fixtures, and you know, you make your kitchen look new, as long as your cabinets aren't like complete garbage, you do the handles, and same thing with the bathroom, you change the faucet, the handles, it'll change your whole look. Same thing with door handles, right? You can have older doors as long as they're not like damaged or something, and they're freshly painted, and then just throw new handles on there, make a huge difference. So these things can cost you, honestly, like you can get like all the light fixtures in your house, all the handles, everything for probably under $2,000, right? And it'll make a huge difference. So everything I listed here, if you think about it, it can all be done. If you have to do everything, you have 1 bathroom, 1 kitchen, let's say 3 bedrooms, like a typical 1,000 square foot house, you can get all this stuff done probably around 20K, maybe less, maybe a little bit more. And it'll change the look of your house. If you're getting, like, let's say a house that you're gonna do that kind of job on, you're gonna probably get 50K back for that 20K you spent, maybe even more, right? Because remember, you're appealing to the buyers and this appeals to everybody. So as long as you do these key things, you're gonna bring in a lot of people. Your pictures are gonna look nice. People are gonna wanna offer on your house, and it's well worth the investment. You don't have to spend like 20K on a kitchen, 15,000 on a bathroom. You can literally spend less than that on the whole thing by just doing like key but effective renovations. So I'm gonna attach my contact info below. So if you're looking in the Hamilton area, definitely reach out to me if you need help or you want information regarding where to get materials or contractors. I can definitely provide you with some solid sources. I'm gonna attach the Hamilton investment guide, and if you need any other sort of guides, like in regards to renovations, I actually have specific stuff I have made just for this kind of thing, everything I talked about in the video, so I can email that to you as well if you reach out to me.